Hey, so I want to build a website. I want to have a YouTube channel, be on Facebook, be on social media and join the online society. How much is that going to cost?
Pull out your hose and grab your can. We're about to integrate another Pest Geek podcast. Hi, everybody. Frank Hernandez here, and welcome to the Pest Geek podcast, bringing you the latest information on pests, products, and politics from today's leading industry sources to help you start, manage, and grow your pest control business.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of the Pest Geek podcast. I am your host, Frank Hernandez, and we're here another week. We're going to be discussing SEO. We're going to be discussing SEO, online strategy, online marketing, and it's going to be a regular segment on our podcast. We should be able to bring you some very, very good content that you can use to build your online presence. But before you go out, and by the way, I've got two other podcasts on this, actually three now. One is about 2 years old, so you want to be online on SEO strategy. Look for that in the archives. I'm going to put a link on this podcast to those because those are still very valuable. They're still very accurate. Even though the information is 2 years old, it's still up to date. But you want to build a website, and you ask this question, hey, do you know somebody that can build me a website? And the answer is pretty much anybody in the world can build you a website. And the reality is that web developers are pretty much a dime a dozen. I mean, this web development thing is the same thing that it was when I was in IT and I was in programming back in the late 80s, early 90s, where everybody wanted to be a programmer, everybody wanted to be a coder, everybody was going to be the next, Bill Gates. And it got to the point where the programmers were a dime a dozen. COBOL programmers that did financial stuff were a dime a dozen. And now web developers are a dime a dozen. And it seems like SEO experts now are a dime a dozen. The problem is most of what you find, they aren't really worth a crap. I mean, that's the reality. When I talk to them and when I analyze the websites they're building and they built, the website sucks and the coding sucks and it has a bunch of errors. They're slow, loading up in 7 to 13 seconds to load a website. There's a bunch of errors. The SEO sucks. Most people are paying $600-$700 a month. They're not even ranking because nobody understands what SEO is. It's one of those things where consumer beware. And with all the information that's available on the internet, it should be now developers and SEO experts beware. And yet they're getting away with murder because nobody knows what the heck these guys do. And we're going to be discussing all this and bringing it to light on this podcast. So you, the guy who's trying to run a business and doesn't have time to build a website and do it on your own, can do this. And if not, at least you can know what to ask when you're talking to a developer, when you're talking to a SEO person, to know if they know anything. Because they can talk a good game, but where's the results? And so you want to have this online presence, and you want to do a website, and you need it. You want a 5-page website. And a 5-page website is going to cost you anywhere around $300 to $500, anywhere around the country. You pay more than that, you're probably getting ripped off because a 5-page website isn't worth $1,500 unless they're doing a whole bunch of coding from scratch because you are going to build something out and you want an HTML site that's super lightning fast. But you can get that anyway from a WordPress site. Building a website is relatively easy. It's the content that's going to cost you. It's the amount of content you're going to need to get that site to rank depending on where you're at. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you this. If you want to be online and you want to rank on the first page of Google, you don't even need a website. Because with Google My Business and the maps, if you're a local company, you can just get on that and you will show up on the first 3 if you're the closest one to that client within the area of service that you service, and there's nobody closer. See, and I had this conversation all the time. I said, I built my website. I rank on the first page of Google. Yeah, you're in a town of 1,600 people. You serve 3 counties. I bet you don't show up in the other 5 counties because you're serving such a large area and you have maybe 20 competitors. And there's only 10 people online. Yeah, you're number 11. You can rank if your code is just a little bit better than theirs. Try ranking in a top 10 market. If you're in a place like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Miami. Miami is the number 6 largest market in the country. There's only 10 spots available on that front page. If you think you're going to build a website and you're going to be in Brooklyn and with 600-700 competitors and you're going to build a website and you're going to rank online and you don't have a super niche or a niche, you're kidding yourself. You're wasting your time. I'm telling you guys, having a website, for most people, it's a glorified brochure. Here's the other reason people say I want a website. Well, it will give me credibility. Well, if I hand my business card to somebody, they say, do you have a website? You know how many people actually go to a website to look at your information? Probably less than 0.001%. It's the same as when that guy asks you for a business card. Is he ever going to call you? Probably not. So having a website, you have to have, you can have a 5-page website with general information that doesn't convert. And just have it, if you're going to be doing other kinds of advertising, that drives the business to the website. But you're not going to rank. Okay? You got to get that out of your mind. Second, you need to be online. That's the one that I need to be online because everybody's online. And the other thing is I want to be able to sell my services online. And you got to ask yourself these fundamental questions. I recommend you read this. If you want to understand what online marketing is like in the 21st century, read Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Workweek. I know it has a stupid title, and nobody's going to work 4 hours a week, and you're not going to figure out how to work 4 hours a week. It's a catchy title that sells book. It's called marketing. And a lot of you guys out there that are listening to me, that are technicians first, and then salespeople, and then marketers, you need to learn how to market. You need to learn how to sell. Because being a great technician, if you're the only one that's ever going to run your business, and people want you only, and that's it, that's as big as you're going to get, forget about a website. Forget about being online. Forget about growing, because it's not necessary. Because people are buying you. Now, if you plan to grow, and you plan to have more than one tech, and you plan to grow your business to 1 million, 2 million, then you need to be online. But Tim Ferriss's book deals with what exactly it is that online marketers do. And we're going to deal with about 99% of the BS on this podcast that's out there. A lot of what you need to do to be online, to be successful online, and to grow, most of you don't have the stomach for it. There are things that you're going to have to do if you want to get it done and you want to be successful. You got to decide, there's pretty much all the information that's online right now pretty much is for people that want to build online businesses. And when I mean online businesses, it's the typical niche site that sells a testosterone product that's hot right now. That product is going to be hot for a year. Okay? And here's what online marketers do. They find these little niche products that are hot, that people want, and they build a website with 200 pages, 300 pages. They use what is known as a spinner software, and they spin out 200-300 pages, or they hire a guy in the Philippines or they hire a guy in India to write 200 pages and basically spin it for them for about $200. And for that $200, you can get 200-300 pages. Why? Because labor is really cheap and those guys are good. They know English, they know how to translate, they know how to speak it. You might make fun of their accent that they don't know, but actually you can buy 5 programmers in the Philippines and 5 coders that are probably better than what you can get in the US for the same price you can get one guy. You give them a job to do at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and when you wake up in the morning at 5 a.m., it's done. Because they're hungry, because they know how to code, because they know how to do things, because they know English. Just because they have an accent and don't speak English doesn't mean they're stupid. These guys know what they're doing. And you're going to have to hire guys from India, and you're going to have to hire guys from the Philippines to get it done. If you hire an SEO company, guess who they're going to hire? Guys from India and guys from the Philippines. They're not going to hire guys from the US at $25-$30 an hour to write one page that's going to cost you $25 a page, and you need 200 of them. This is where your cost comes in, where it's going to cost you $20,000 to $30,000 to build out a site. So you got to be able to accept that that's the reality. Listen to the book, read it, and then figure it out. They build niche sites, products that are hot. And what happens is they use online tactics that are black hat. They'll buy 500 links. They'll go on social media, find out somebody who's an influencer on social media and get them to pump it and pay it out. Why? Because they'll know that they're going to sell affiliate product, and they're not even selling the product. There's somebody else selling the product. You take the order for them, then they ship it to you direct, and you make 50%. Usually affiliate marketing products are paying out 50%. So if you sell 1,000 bottles at $19.99, at $10 a pop, that's 10 grand. You say, I make 10 grand online. That's how they do it. And here's what these guys do. They don't build one site. They'll build 100 sites. So when they're telling you they're making $10,000 a month, yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of stuff you don't have the stomach for. It's a lot of stuff they know how to do. It's a lot of stuff that they're taking all the jobs out of the U.S. and putting them in a third world country because that's what it takes. That's the reality. You're right. Or you're going to build a sales site. Here's another one that's going to kick you in the groin. You got to build a sales site. Why? Take a company like DoMyOwnPestControl.com. Go Google any product, any pest control product, and watch them show up on the first page of Google. Why? They got thousands and thousands of products they sell. They got thousands and thousands of pages. They have domain authority because of the amount of volume. Everything in the world, when you want to do something, and the more competitive your market is in, the more volume you have to do. You can make fun of your competitors all you want, but when a company is worth $20, $30, $40 million, they did something that you're not willing to do. That's the bottom line. So now you're going to build an authority site. Here's the problem. You want to go out and you want to learn everything for free about pest control. You want to get all the consultations. You want to learn everything about it. You'll spend 4 or 5 hours on YouTube videos consuming free content. When it comes down to building a blog and giving away content that is top quality, you say, no, I hate that word, content, free content. Why do I have to tell the client how to do it for free? Why do I got to show him how I do it and give away all my secrets? I'm not going to do that. You're never going to build content. What you want is to build a BS blog about how you tell everybody how everything is impossible for them to do it themselves. And guess what? They're going to read a third down in your page and realize you're not offering them anything and bounce out of your website, and your bounce rate is going to go through the roof, and you're wondering why Google won't rank you when you got 100 pages. You got 100 pages of something that nobody wants to read. When people go online for pest control, they are looking for a solution. If you don't offer a solution very quickly, they're going to bounce out of your site. It's not like you're going out and looking at daisies and flowers and getting free information on flowers because you want to build a garden. People want to solve problems. If you're not going to do that, you're not going to get ranked. You got to be able to give away good. It's content marketing. So you're either going to build a niche site, you're going to build a store where you actually sell a product, or you're going to build an authority site where you will give away really good content that people want to read. And then when people figure out they can't do it themselves, they're going to call you because you were the one that was willing to give them the most information. You're the most trustworthy. You're the one they built a relationship with online. That is the game. If you can't play that game, don't even show up to the field. So now, you got all this, 99% of what's out there caters to those three: content marketing, sales sites, and niche sites, which mostly sell affiliate marketing products. Like, hey, I'll teach you how to build your own website. Click the link here, buy this software. And when you buy that software, the software's a piece of junk, but that's how he makes his money, is basically recommending product and you clicking on it. And that's what it's about. 99% doesn't deal, the information out there does not deal with brick and mortar and real service businesses. It doesn't. You got to really hunt down for somebody who's going to actually teach you to do that. Okay? Why are they able to build these sites? Because they don't care if Google shuts them down. They have very aggressive spamming tactics, really backlink buying and farming. The product sites are going to have a short life anyway of 1 to 2 years. So if it gets shut down in a year, it doesn't matter. They made their money. It cost them $500 to build that site out themselves, including all the backlinks and all the pages and all that. They spent $1,000 and they made $3,000 to $4,000. That's a really good investment. You've got 3 to 4x on your investment, and you're shut down and you're done. You say, I'm lazy. I don't want to write all that. I don't write very well. I don't have the time. I'm just going to buy an article spinning software. You buy article spinning software, you're going to get about a 65 to 86% original content. The problem is the material is going to be plagiarized. 20, 30, 40, 50% of the material. When you're talking about industry specific stuff, it doesn't translate very well. So you're wasting your time. You're going to have to write it. So you don't want to spend 2 hours writing an article and you can't pay somebody $35 in the US to pay it. You're pretty much SOL. That's the reality. How do these guys? Well, you're going to go to a pay-per-click campaign. If you're in Miami and you want to do pay-per-click for pest control, somewhere around $15 to $35 a click every time somebody clicks on that. They will eat up your advertising budget, $200-300 a day, like that. So these guys, they find products that have very little competition where every click is going to cost them about 13 cents and they can afford a couple hundred clicks. What else do you need to do? I mean, like I said, you don't need, you talk to somebody and says, I'm going to optimize your Google, online, map page so that you rank in 5 markets. Well, the way they're going to do that is they're going to get 5 addresses from somebody and they're going to submit them to Google. Now you service those cities, but you don't have a branch there. You don't have an office there. You don't have a physical address. And you'll take the name of your mom and your buddy and your uncle and you submit them and you get the cards back from Google. You enter the codes because they're going to call you and say, hey, your card came in from Google. You go get the card, you plug it in, and now it appears you have 5 locations with 5 different phone numbers, and you can buy redirect phone numbers like really cheap. Like for $20 a month, you can buy 10 numbers. And what's going to happen is you're going to rank everywhere. People are doing this. The problem is your competitor knows that you don't have a branch there. And he's going to go and contact Google and says, here, go look at the county or the state registration for that business. There's no business registered at that address. That's a residential home. It doesn't even belong to him. And they're going to shut it down. If they shut you down and all of them are associated with one account, your whole account is shut down. You won't have an online presence. You got to now create a fictitious character. You're done because they can verify it. So don't do that. Don't do black hat stuff that's going to get you shut down. If you can't do it right, figure out how you're going to do it right. And one of the things that people get frustrated is, you guys, that know this stuff, you're not telling us anything. You'll do a podcast, you'll do a blog, but you really don't tell us anything. Well, here's the reality. It takes a lot of work for us to do this for our business. And it took a lot of energy, and it took a lot of research. It took a lot of development. Why would anybody give it away? You don't want to give away your pest control secrets because you feel you got some secret, but you expect everybody to give you every stuff for free. And what I'm telling you is that I'm going to give you as much information as I can give you so for you to do the research, for you to be able to do it yourself, you see, and help you out. But it's a lot of work. You're going to have to put in some 20 to 40 hours a week on top of what you put in now on your work to get this done, because that's what I had to do. I still put in about 10 to 15 hours a week on SEO right now as it is. And I cut down severely because now it's working for us. So that's what you need to do to rank online, to start ranking. That's the reality of what it's going to take for you to do what it is you want to do. And the question you got to ask yourself, am I willing to pay that price? Am I willing to do it? Hey guys, this has been fun. I will talk to you next time. Have a great one.
Thank you for listening to the Pest Geek Podcast. If you have enjoyed the Pest Geek Podcast, please give us a rating, write a review, or subscribe to the channel. You can join the Pest Geek Society by visiting pestgeekpodcast.com. Thank you for listening. See you next time.